And another one was called Long Distance Friendship, and it was a picture of two people standing on the beach in Provincetown, and the shadows are tremendously long. And he took and adjusted the color so the waves in the background are pink. The sand is purple. You know, these two, it's just incredible. And we have a young man, one of our board of directors kids, who does fractal pictures. Which
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you've never seen them, it's a mathematical formula that you put into the computer, and then you take that and make it into a drawing. And one of these things was this 20 different hues of blue, like a hibiscus flower. Incredible. And another one that looks like neon. It's just...
I don't know how that's done.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I would like to learn.
I don't know how.
I
don't know how you did that. That's really neat. Yeah.
Sandy makes fun of me because it's the, you know, Kate, you've done everything. I've had so many different jobs, and I said it's not that I've wanted to, but it was survival.
Sure.
You know, that mechanism kicks in. When you need money, you will do anything to. I mean, I've sold shoes, I've sold appliances, I've redone houses, I've been a decorator. I've been a designer, I've been a florist for 35 years. I mean, whatever it takes, I've just done it. I started in retail in high school. But doing fractals is one thing I would absolutely love to learn, because what you can create is so amazingly beautiful. And it is a recurring pattern.
Right, it's an algorithm, it's math.
Yeah,
and therefore it's logic. And people sometimes overlook that there's great beauty in logic.
Right.
And math is good.
Well, Scott teaches at Williams, and he's the head of the math department, so I said, you got to get into this. You got to show me how this works, because I would love to learn that. There are a few things left that I want to learn. I want to learn how to do locks. I want to be a locksmith. And
That's interesting.
I might be able to help you there.
It sounds so interesting. It's something so tedious. But, you know, very few things left that I really want to get. But fractals is one, and locksmithing for some reason is another. But, and I can tell my story as a human book. What do you need to know? I can help.
Well, you know what? We're looking for more books. So if you think you want to take a day,
There you go.
know.
Yeah, well, my first idea was growing up tall, because I was never short. I was born tall. I was taller than all of my nuns in school. I mean, it was second grade, I was taller than my nun with her habit. You know,
Oh, wow.
I was 4'8" in kindergarten, 5'2" in second grade. Wow. 5'10" when I graduated, and then at 20, I gained 2 more inches. Thank you, Jesus. You know? So I proudly say now that I'm 5'12", 5'15" in heels.
Yeah.
And you know, that just kind of is all encompassing. Maybe
We should get
5'16",
one of the basketball players,
maybe 5'17". You know, it depends on the shoe.
Invite her to that kind of a party, and then she'd feel right at home.
Well, Scott is 6'4", and when I have shoes on, you know, we're looking eye to eye.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I first learned about, I'm going to turn the tables on you here. When I first learned about the Human Library through this group, Hands Against Hate, they were talking about people who felt like they were different, you know, and from the get-go, we were looking for people who were really interesting, who could tell a story from a different point of view, you know, from a really distinct point of view. And that's the whole idea behind this Human Library project. The Hands Against Hate group that I'm representing as a member of PFLAG, this is a local grassroots organization. We have a steering committee of 12 people. And every person on the committee, or almost every person on the committee, represents an organization. I represent PFLAG. Someone else represents the Groton Public Library, someone else the Jewish Federation, the American Islamic Association, Council on American Islamic Relations. Yep, that's one. Let's see, what else? The U.S. Coast Guard Academy has a representative in the group. Piers, Parents and Educator Group for Eliminating Racism, Betsy from the Alliance for Living, Groton Parks and Rec. So we have like people from a lot of different kinds of organizations. The group was originally formed because there were some hate crimes going on and people wanted to try to get a diverse group of people together to try to figure out what we could do to educate people and bring people's awareness. And this Human Library Project is their latest big project. Basically, the idea is people are books, and all three of you are going to be books. So this
Maybe
is going
all
to be
four.
all four. Well, maybe that'd be great. And everybody gives themselves a book title, and then people from the public, free of charge, come in, take out a book, get to spend some private time with their book, ask questions, have a conversation, learn about their own prejudice. The whole idea is that none of us are without prejudice. People come in and say, you know what, I'm really anxious about gay people and I don't really know that much, and is there somebody here I can talk to? And feel free to ask questions.
Yeah.
And someone will tell me straight answers, maybe that answer the questions that I've never been able to ask anyone ever before.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we are asking people to be polite, but it really is an opportunity that people don't ever get.
And I like to say a lot of times when the question comes up is sincerity isn't rude.
Right.
It's difficult to be rude if you're asking a sincere question.
Sincere question, yeah, and that's a really nice way to put it. Our Human Library Project is going to be at Williams on April 24th from 9:30 to 3:30. We're operating out of the gymnasium. They have a main lobby door, and then around the side where the parking lot is where the entrance and where all the librarians and the books are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start there. The Human Library Project is really kind of interesting. It started basically the same idea the Hands Against Hate project started. A bunch of people in Denmark, a bunch of young people, one of their friends got stabbed. It was a hate crime. They said we need to do something, formed a Stop the Violence group, and then got some assistance from some other people, and they were having a festival to sort of get people together to rally around Stop the Violence. And this whole idea of the Human Library Project started only around 2000, so it hasn't been around that long. And there have been human libraries all over the world, but never one in New England. So we're the first to do this in New England.
Cool.
And part of the reason why it's happening, well, part of the
right here in New London.
yeah, part of the reason
Go
why it's
figure.
happening, Betty Ann Ryder, who's the head librarian at the Groton Public Library, she has a group of people who get together, all librarians, about once a month. And they do it to share new information and get ideas going and that sort of thing. And they had a speaker, and the speaker was saying that libraries are public places that are really safe. They're well known as being a place where people go for information, to learn, to become better people. They're sort of neutral. They don't have a lot of emotional baggage attached to them like a church or some other place like that. And churches, and even though churches feel like they have a responsibility to promote openness and education, librarians and libraries really have this obligation, and we should do more. And she walked away from this meeting thinking, yeah, really, we should. And so she was on this group and sort of took on, sort of assigned the Groton Public Library, this new task. And so our group meets there, and there are also a lot of other groups that meet there. Like they have a group of atheists that meet in the library. They have their regular meetings there, and one of their members is going to be a book.
Wow.
Cool.
And so it's a really nice place, this like neutral